Hi there, it's Monday the 6th of November, 2023, and I still can't believe really that I'm actually in Iceland. It's an interesting place, that's for certain. But why Iceland? Why travel all the way from England, in the Cambridgeshire area, right through to Iceland? Simply, ancestry, history, and most importantly, if we look at the way that Pangaea was back in the day, Iceland was very much linked on to Scotland, as we know, as well as Ireland, and we also know with Norway. So, yes, there's a lot of Nordic history here, very much so. And in fact, you see a lot of the items that we saw in Norway and Sweden in Iceland itself. Just a slight different variation, as it were. Obviously, some clear links. The main link will be Princess Grethorstein-Dottir. Yeah, I said that quickly, didn't I? Princess Grethorstein-Dottir. 32nd great-grandmother, 873 to 914. Now, it's quite interesting. She was born in Valur in Iceland. Now, we haven't had the opportunity to get down there yet because of the weather. The weather turned quite dramatically a couple of days ago. And the snow, the ice came, obviously. However, it looks things are on the up. Tomorrow, it looks like we're venturing out to Krafla, the active volcano. Woohoo! That's going to be fantastic. We sort of saw some of it on the journey through from Sedishforda up to Hofsós. So from east to west. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Why did you leave the east and travel west in search of light in craft? How true could that truly be? For anyone that knows. Hofsós is where we're staying. Is the oldest. They say it's one of the oldest ports. It's the oldest port. It's the oldest place in Iceland, and I think you can get that sense and feel of it when you're just walking around it, driving around it. It certainly feels like home. I'll give it that. There are other people that are involved. Is the Princess Rule of the Lord of the Isles, Dungad. Of Caithness. Now, obviously, he married Grethorstein-Dottir, and that's how that chain of the Neville chain actually sort of travelled through, as it were. So that's quite fascinating in that sense for anyone that follows me on the ancestry links and the other videos that I've done. So we started out on the 24th of October, on a Tuesday, sort of late morn, and we left Cambridge and we headed down to Felixstowe, to a place I'd never been before, actually, Trimley St Mary. Quite a pleasant little place, to be fair. Stayed overnight purely to get onto Stenline the next day. And we went on to Stenline on the day's crossing on the cabins. The journey across there, inside cabins, pretty standard, but they suit the purpose for a day crossing. And we crossed across to the Hook of Holland into the Netherlands. We drove through the Netherlands and we stayed in Germany. Now, I wouldn't want to go back to where we stayed, to be quite frank. It was interesting. It was infested with wasps. And when I spoke to the neighbour in Sogel, a place called Sogel in Germany, the neighbour actually said, yes, they were very aware of the wasps. And the Sogel Tourist Information Board has been quite rude via email since about it. So, yeah, that's a story for another day. But avoid Sogel at all costs, guys. Yeah, don't bother going there. Certainly don't stay in anything that's Sogel tourist information. That's for certain. I certainly won't again. Much to my dismay, on the trip that we booked in for Finland for next year, so in sort of March into April, I had the horrible thing of, oh my God, on the travel through to get to Finland, I'd stupidly booked us into Sogel again. So I've already cancelled that. But today, I won't whinge about it too much, we're talking about Iceland, but today I get the most ghastly email from these idiots saying that I owe them €279 for the cancellation. Yeah, that's right, €279 for the cancellation. Because they take a percentage of what we were paying. We paid a lot of money anyway to these silly people, really. So let me get this right, Sogel Tourist Information Board. I've cancelled in November 23, yes, for a stay in April 24, and you want to charge me €279 for the privilege. Go forth and multiply. I think I pretty much said that in the messages to you. Unbelievable. Can anyone believe that? Honestly. So avoid Sogor. They're obviously very strange people there, and most ghastly people, really. So I've just basically told her to go forth and multiply. This Melanie, whoever you are, don't bother contacting me again. I tried to say that by email, but you contacted me. Jesus, what are you like, honestly? God, some people, I tell you, the cheek of it. Damn cheek. Anyway, moving on. So we left Sogor, thank goodness. We left the wasps behind. And we headed on to a wonderful, beautiful place, actually. Steinkreis Verpalo. And that was a stone circle. It's an active void on the Earth that it's very interesting that in the Desposini line, so we're talking about the Clark line now, the Clark line going backwards, it's of great importance on so many levels. Went to a church, St. Eutychus Church as well, and that's quite interesting because it's sort of named after the chap who became the King of Brittany in the year 630 CE, i.e. 630 Common Era. You'll notice I've tried to sort of remove the AD and BC these days because I don't want it really being a modern neo-Christian-led terminology. I'd rather use the standard ones of Common Era and before Common Era, which makes much more sense. So, 630 CE, which is quite good. Very, very interesting place. Highly recommend it to anyone. We then drove all the way up through the trunk of Denmark. So got to Frederikshavn. Frederikshavn was very nice, vibrant place. We then got on to the ship. What a ship. Absolutely amazing. We got onto the MV. I apologise, some people, I put MS on some of the videos and things and postings that I've done on TikTok. It's actually MV Norröna. Norröna is how you pronounce it, the MV Norröna. And amazing deluxe cabins. You couldn't want for more. Beautiful views. They even come and steam the windows, on these little pipes outside in the mornings to get the sea salt off the windows so you can see again, which is quite pleasant. Really lovely ship, lovely cabins. I mean, they're not like cabins, they're like massive hotel rooms, really, to be fair. So if you're ever doing a long journey on the MV Norröna and you're heading out, or any of those Schmural line, make sure you book a deluxe cabins. Yeah, you pay the nose for it, but it's worth every penny. Worth every penny, if you can. Anyway, went on to, we arrived at, obviously, a bit of a journey crossing, beautiful photographs on the way. We ended up arriving in Iceland after we sort of did a detour and stop at the Faroe Islands. Really pretty place, but it was no disrespect to Faroe, whatever you call yourselves, Faroeans or whatever. I've got no interest in you whatsoever at all. I've only got interest in Iceland, so you could have got off the ship, and I decided not to. I couldn't be bothered, really, to be fair. Looks like a pretty little place, but yeah, I'm not really interested, to be honest. Iceland, obviously, is where we were heading, and that's where we were going. So we embarked away from Faroe Islands some 5.5, 6 hours later, so gave you time to have a little rest and things on board the ship still. We headed across. My goodness, all I can remember saying to myself and to some lovely German people, a German couple that were outside at the time. There was a lovely lady I met called Andrea, and she's just absolutely lovely. She had camera in tow, and she's like me. She smokes like a trooper. So she had a fag in her mouth. So that sort of pleased me. And but we just hit it off straight away, and we met each other quite a few times when I went out for a smoke. I often saw her out there, and we got talking about life, universe, and the everything. Amazing lady. She does, what did she say she did? Loss adjusting. Loss adjuster she is. Types up all the documents for loss adjusters in some kind of insurance company in Germany. But she does this trip, and she said she's done the trip 5 times. Hardly surprising, because it's a beautiful trip. So you open the curtains in the morning. Once you got dressed, I mean, you could have left them open, no one can see you, it's out to sea. But of course, because we're coming through into Iceland at that point in time, I went, oh my God. As I opened the curtains, all I could see was these beautiful mountainous ranges and ice ranges there. And yeah, it was absolutely glorious. Anyway, so that's absolutely glorious, the views. I've posted so many pictures of those beautiful views already on TikTok. So yeah, if you want to find me, It's really simple. It's the dot second, all is dot coming 63. So the dot second dot coming 63. TikTok's an amazing place. See if you can get on there and have a look. This will obviously go on to TikTok, but obviously if you're watching this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, do take the time to go and see all the many posts and things and photographs onto TikTok. That will be fantastic. So we've arrived in Iceland Tuesday the 31st of October. That next part will be in part 2. That was part 1, by the way. Excellent. Hopefully you'll tune back for part 2. If not, don't worry. It's fine. Life's like that sometimes. But if you do come back and check me out again, do. I'll be talking about part 2 in a moment. Okay, brilliant. Cheers. Ciao.